No, you've seen that one before. You've seen that one before. That's the Mark II. If you remember earlier in the year, I came here to Wales to drive that car, the MST Mark II, and it ended up being one of my most successful videos. But they were building a Mark I at the time, one of these, and they said, when it's finished, we'd love you to come back and be the first to drive it. Well, that time is now. We're going to be driving the MST Mark I. I'm Jonny Smith. Welcome to You just have to look at that and you know what car it is instantly, that doggy bone grille. So you did say to me when I was driving the Mark II Carwyn, you said, as soon as this one's finished, the Mark I, come and have a drive. This is a slightly different project to that. Tell me about this one. So this started the same as that bare shell right opposite us here.
Yeah, so this car was built from the ground up, from scratch. From pilot panels, basically.
Yeah.
About 2 years ago. Yeah, this is the result.
I can see from that shell, actually, all of the arches are steel. So these are...
Yeah,
you know,
it's all steel.
It's not
all
composites.
Steel panels. Yeah.
Wow.
The bubble arches are pressed into the quarter panels and the front wings.
Yeah.
There's no filler or anything. They're all...
They're probably better than they ever were.
Yeah, yeah. And lighter as well than welding on a bubble arch and putting filler, so they work out lighter.
The Mark I shape is probably my favourite compared to the Mark II. The Mark II you're more likely to see flying through a forest. Talking of which, I think there's more old Escorts here than there were before. Have you been buying more cars?
Yeah, I've picked up a few more. That yellow one behind you, that's an old Danish historic racing car.
That's brilliant.
There's another yellow Mark II in the corner there.
There's a really nice Survivor Mark II there with wipers on the headlights. So you can't stop, you're obsessed.
Yeah,
but obviously,
can't stop buying them.
This is not a Ford Escort, and neither is that. You know that if you've watched the first video. This then, all steel like that car, all brand new, hence 71 plate. Brilliant. It's just so weird seeing a modern number plate on one of these. But the difference between this car and that car, apart from it being a Mark I and a Mark II, is, and we'll talk about the interior in a bit, but the engine and the setup is a bit different, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. So this has a 2-litre BDG engine,
okay, which
is based on the original engine they used in the works rally cars.
Right.
It's like what they use today in historic rally cars. Whereas that one is a 2.5 Duratec, a bit more modern engine that. But it's it's a classic engine, but it runs on modern fuel injection with a modern ECU, so you get the best of both worlds.
Show me, show me.
Let's get the bonnet open.
Yeah. So I guess this sort of an engine, in your sort of Escort enthusiasts world, this engine holds provenance. That's an engine you can still buy from Ford, isn't it? You know, that's...
Yeah, that's a brand new Ford engine, crate engine, where this is a purpose-built rally engine.
And it does look old. It does still look properly old.
Well, that's what we wanted. We wanted that classic look. But obviously you can see the modern fuel injection.
Fuel injection here, yeah.
Yeah, Jenvey throttle bodies.
So like with all your MST cars, because people order them and kind of spec them themselves with that great catalogue that I showed last time, you can have this car with one of those Duratec's in it.
Yeah, we can put a Duratec in if you want.
With one of those in it, or you can go balls out, Millington.
Millington Diamond, that goes up to 2.8.
2.8
litres, yeah.
And what, that's like a 30 grand engine, isn't it, or more?
Yeah, about 30 grand, all in. Just the engine alone. Yeah, big power.
Gearbox in this car, that one from memory was an MX-5.
Yeah, so that's a 6-speed H-pattern MX-5. This one, again, we kept it a bit more traditional with a 5-speed Type 9.
Okay.
Again, it's all brand new, alloy casing, semi-helical gears.
Yeah.
Close ratio. Yeah, works really well. The
power?
This engine's around the 250 brake horsepower.
Okay.
Slightly milder cams for road use because it is more of a fast road car than a full-on rally car. But in full race trim, they go up to about 280 brake horsepower, these engines.
But I remember when you were building this car, you said, because this is your Mark 1 demonstrator, you wanted to show that this had a little bit more luxury. That one I remember has, just a cage, bare steel inside.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
It's like a competition car.
Yeah, that's like a competition car. This has got a bit more.
This has got actual stitching and actual upholstery. You can hear the clinky clank of the limited slip div. That Atlas back axle with that's 6-linked with that funny little Watts linkage. So today is a very cold day again, but it's wet and there's a bit of standing water on the corners, so I've got to be a bit careful. Now this isn't as loud, weirdly, as the Mark II, although it's loud. There's more induction going on with this particular Mark 1 demonstrator. You've got the Jenvey throttle bodies right there, and when you squeeze the throttle, honestly, it feels like it's going to suck my damn shoes off. That's only 4,500 RPM. This BDG 2 litre, it will rev out to 9. Honestly, this is one of those days where I absolutely adore what I do for a job. Now fundamentally this is the same kind of car as the Mark II that I drove, but obviously the Mark 1 has got I think a more characterful face. Mark 1 came out in '68, and with the bubble arches, steel arches, it just looks the part. And so this car's got the more kind of historic, purist engine and transmission. You can feel the reverberation through the stick. This is the Ford Type 9 box, 5-speed, whereas the Mark II has the 6-speed Mazda box. But you can choose. If you were ordering this, remember, you spec it. You can have a damn sequential if you wanted. But fundamentally, the BDG motor has less torque than that 2.5 litre Duratec that I drove. It wants to rev much higher. Steering is electric power steering, using a little module from a Vauxhall Corsa, which seems to be the favourite go-to on the column. And MST say they can actually vary that. They can weight it up a bit more if you want to. If you're watching this and you haven't seen my review of the Mark II car, the original test mule for this, I'd urge you to click on the link above. This Mark 1 is like a serving suggestion for how you could have your Mark 1 MST if you wanted. In other words, you don't have to have this engine, gearbox, you don't have to have a roll cage, you don't have to have nice wool carpets or Alcantara cross-stitched headline, and not if you don't want to. Right, the interior really interests me on the Mark 1, Carwyn, so I'm going to get in. So you've gone quite plush, haven't you? You've actually gone quite plush for a Mark 1.
Yeah, got a bit of luxuries going on here.
Yeah. So centre console exists with some technology, with gauges, with different switchgear. I really like that, actually. That's brilliant. So yeah, these are modern buttons, aren't they?
Yeah. So all these panels, we've designed these ourselves from scratch. So they're based on the originals.
Yeah.
But we've had them redesigned. So we had them originally 3D printed.
Did you?
And we're now going into production.
So this is optional, slightly more technology, a little bit more comfort.
Yeah.
Obviously soundproofed. Oh, look at that diamond stitched headliner.
Yeah. Alcantara.
Yeah.
Headlining.
So you've got a, what do you call this? A sort of like fast road touring? Because it's got a cage.
Yeah, it's like it's a fast road car with the sort of a bespoke, what we call the bespoke interior upgrade.
Yeah.
So all this is handmade.
Is it?
Hand stitched by Ben, our ex-Bentley trimmer.
This is nice.
So, real leather.
You got the combination of kind of old school dash binnacle with a modern bucket with hydraulic handbrake.
Yep.
And these sort of like modern controls. I really like this.
Yeah.
But again, with the Mark II, you can choose what you want to do. You can go original interior. You can go all-out competition interior.
Yeah.
You could just order a body shell and do it all yourself if you want. Because that car over there, you were saying to me, that shell there is a customer's bare shell. They're just going to have that as is.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
And then build it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And which is more popular, Mark 1 or Mark 2?
It's the Mark 1 now since we've launched this.
Is it?
Yeah, because this has obviously only been launched. We launched this at your show in Manchester a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So that was the first time it was shown to the public. So since then, it's gone a bit mad. It
was brilliant having it at the show, I have to say. It was really special to see it under those lights in that room. So I like this very much. I feel immediately. Oh look, okay. So back seat delete because of the cage.
Yeah. So it's a two-seater. So a luggage shelf there.
Oh, and you've got the option of normal 3-point belt.
Yeah, for road.
For everyday use.
And you've got your harnesses at the back.
You've got your harnesses at the back.
Yeah.
Neat.
So they're all FAA approved harnesses. These seats are FAA approved if you want to go rallying. So you can basically, go rallying with it if you want. Because all the Bodyshell, everything is based on a rally car.
Yeah.
So it's basically a luxury rally car, if you like.
Price-wise, again, is it similar to the Mark II, or is it exactly the same as the Mark II?
It's the same, really, yeah.
Yeah.
The same.
So a full-built car starts at about 70? Is it 75?
Yeah, they're about 80, 85 now. Because everything's gone up over the last year.
Of course, because of 2021.
Yeah.
So about 80, 85, and then it depends on what engine you go for, what level of luxury or competition you go for. Oh, yeah. And that brings us round to the back end. We'll talk back end next. This is not a demo. You can map the ECU to be to behave differently, but also you can include traction control if you want it. This does not have traction control, so I am being a little bit tentative with it. I absolutely love the fact you can thread it through these epic Snowdonia lanes. Now it's 250 horsepower this, in a car that weighs under a ton. So it's not all about the numbers, it's about the feel really. I really like what they've done with the dash here. This is actually soft leather stitched, and the binnacle's got all analog gauges in, all MST's own. But the other thing I like, the optional centre console, I'm always a bit unsure about additions like this in older cars, but I think this is tasteful. It's tasteful and sort of in keeping. And where the radio is, you've got this lovely chunky aluminium plaque. And you've got your Bluetooth Sony modern infotainment unit down there. Bilstein shocks on this particular car, and it's got these modular front wishbones and knuckles, which means you can adjust them 4 or maybe 5 different ways. So you can really change the feel of the car to how you, the owner, the driver, wants. Again, Bilsteins are the entry-level suspension. You can actually have Riga or Öhlins. I mean, honestly, it absolutely rings through the gears. Now you can order it with different pedal boxes and things. It's the whole MST idea is you've got so many choices of componentry. I just think they've done such a great job bringing an old school car, an old school feeling car, right into the 21st century. You could use it every day. You could spec it for historic racing if you want. There's all manner of things you can do. And you can have the seats upholstered beautifully by this ex-Bentley trimmer. No servo, no ABS, so you have to use your right leg on the brake. You have to commit. As I'm driving around this absolutely idyllic countryside in moody weather. This is moody today. This is where I like Wales when it's moody. It's just more evocative. So yeah, you could look at this and go, it's 80,000 odd grand for what used to be an old banger, really. But there's so much more to it than that. You know, we are dealing with Wales's answer to almost Singer for Escorts. But it's not an Escort, it's a Mark 1. I have to say that. Don't forget it. There's something about these cars. I'm driving looking at snow-capped peaks, unforgiving dry stone walls everywhere, standing water. It's 2 degrees outside. It's bitching cold, and I don't care because I've got so much to enjoy. Do you know what? We're at the back end, and I look at the old reversing lights, which I remember vividly. I still just chuckling at the fact it's brand new.
71 plate.
Yeah, 71 plate with
BG
chrome
as well.
bumpers. Yeah.
Plate.
And you've got this. You've got this on 13-inch wheels, haven't you? This particular
yes,
car.
Kept it on 13s.
But obviously, again, like all the stuff, all the MST stuff, you can put it on any combination of.
Yeah, we can put it on 15s.
Yeah.
If you want. Yeah, but we kept the sort of retro look with the 13s.
You got to go 13. I love the 13. Is it on 4-wheel discs?
Discs all around, yeah. Yeah. AP racing brakes all around.
Oh look, so that was the next question. Same as the Mark II, you could order it base model with leaf springs if you wanted.
Yeah.
And then you can upgrade to adjustable coils. Oh, this has got the Atlas axle in it, hasn't it?
Yes, yeah. They've all got Atlas axles for reliability, really. And
now, is that a 6-link?
Yeah, 6-link.
Yeah.
You got the 4-link at the front, and then the Watts linkage at the back.
Yeah.
The 2 additional links, and then the turret at the back for the coilovers.
It looks good under there, Carwyn. It looks good. It does look good. We will be getting it dirty in a bit, I fear, with the Welsh weather.
Yeah. Won't be clean for long.
So how many hours does it take to build one of these at the moment? Because you know the workshop that I went to before, not that far away from here, that builds these cars from nothing, from just pressed panels.
Yeah.
How many hours are we talking?
Well, I mean, this car's taken 2 years because there's a lot of development work, and we're still doing a lot of development as well as we build them.
Approximately?
Probably in about a year's time, we'll be down to 3 or 4 months to build a car from scratch. Get right.
Who are the people ordering MSTs? That's what I'm really keen to. Are they people that are already well into Fords, or are they people that have a collection of other cars maybe, or have had supercars? I've met one guy who's ordered one, and he has had supercars, and he's got fed up. He's got fed up with the residuals and the running costs of supercars, and he just wanted a raw driving experience without bothering with old wiring and rust. Yeah. And he's ordered a Mark II, I think.
He's ordered a Mark II, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Eurotech Mark II.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you said, most of them have got a good car collection. They've got a few supercars. They just want something different.
Yeah. They want an old school car with none of the hassle.
And most of them, they probably had a Mark I or a Mark II back in the day when they were younger.
Okay.
They probably couldn't afford, you know, a twin cam version back then, but now they're all older.
But now they've ticked all the boxes. How many Millington engined ones have been ordered so far? Any?
Yes, there's I think it's 3 or 4 actually.
Really?
Yeah. There's one racing car going to California. That's a pure track car. We've actually started working on that now. And I think the other 2, they are just road cars.
Wow.
Very fast road cars.
That is a Millington engine road car. Wow, that's commitment.
2.7. Yeah. And a 6-speed sequential gearbox.
Really?
Yes.
For road use? Oh, they're going
use,
balls out.
Yeah. And they're having the nice interior as well. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
So sequential box with a nice interior. Okay.
Yeah. No roll cage. Just a nice trim.
That's an interesting spec. I've got it here. I had to. While I'm here, I had to get the 2022 catalogue. I love the fact you still do a paper catalogue in this world of e-shops and stuff. And again, you can just still, first 2 pages, you open the thing. Look, just order a stage 1 or a stage 2 full road car, or stage 3 or stage 4. Just call this number to order a car. It's fine. Standard arches, rally arches, Group 4 if you wish, historic spec. Brilliant. This has got a heated windscreen. Again, it's a really useful old car feature. Where the radio was is this MST plaque. Oh man, is that sleet? When the oil isn't up to temperature, it restricts the red line to about 4,000. And then when it's warmed up, the dry sump has got all its oil up to working temp, then it will let you go 9,000. So sure, even with bubble arches. It's not very wide on today's roads, and that's what makes a big difference, I think. Having reviewed a lot of cars in my life, cars are getting too big to use on the roads that aren't going to change in width. Chrome bumpers, LED lights. Again, you can change different wheels if you want. This is on 13-inch genuine mini lights, which I think is still made in the UK. What a car. It's as enjoyable as you think it is. I can tell you that for free. A simple door car, but with a little bit more finesse than a piece of vinyl stretched over a piece of hardboard. Old school mirrors. You bastard. Yeah, it's slippery today. See what I mean? And that's just not with very much throttle input. You've got to be careful, kids. Wow. Dry stone walls, big drop. Shiitake mushrooms. This is more refined than the Mark II that I drove, which was, you know, stripped out, ready for rallying. But make no mistake, there's still lots of noise and lots of vibration. The rear view mirror, over 3,000 RPM, is kind of pointless, but I really don't care. Of course, this isn't Euro NCAP tested. It's still a fundamentally old car, but just built better than a Ford Escort ever was, because this is not mass produced anymore. it's using that recipe, but just taking extra time and attention to everything. All I can say is MST are building these cars from scratch in Wales, one of the hearts of rallying, and creating jobs, but just doing something brilliant. A cottage industry that's born out of utter passion. Like Carwyn is bonkers. He's obsessed with rear-wheel drive Escorts, and I can understand why. I've just noticed that this engine is built in Peterborough, so that's really near me.
Yeah, graphical racing engines. They built the engine.
So you can see MST down here on the scuttle, and I love the VIN, just simply because it says build date 5th of November 2021, and it's number 000.
Yeah.
So it's the Mark 1 0 model. So it's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah. Hand built in Wales.
Oh, look at that, hand built in Wales, United Kingdom by MST Cars Limited. That's cool, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, a British built car.
Yeah, I love it. I actually don't know how I would spec mine. I'd probably have an interior like this. I like a bit of cage, but I also like a bit of comfort. Show me inside the boot.
Yeah.
Because I know the thing about the MST cars is it's the detail. That looks fantastic.
Yeah.
So, dry sump.
Dry sump tank for the engine.
Yeah.
Oil, yeah. Fuel tank.
The shaped fuel cell goes around the spare wheel.
Spare wheel.
That's rain, because obviously, no disrespect, but we're in North Wales.
Yeah, a lot of rain here.
So that's the fuel filler there. Traditionally, it would be on the side of the car there, wouldn't it?
Yeah, usually here.
And you could order a shell with it in the traditional place or not?
It can be done, yeah. They also put them in the C pillar as well, like the works cars.
Okay.
Got a recessed filler there, which can be done.
Oh, okay. What is the oddest spec request for one of these so far, for a full build, not just a shell?
Yeah, there's been a few engine gearbox combination requests, but it's got to be a no, really.
Oh, really? What, like totally different engines? Like a V8 or something?
Yeah, people are asking for cross flows and pintos, you know, the old school sort of, but we can't, we couldn't get them through the IVA because of emissions and all that.
Yeah.
So we've got to, we just narrow it down to the 3 engines.
The 3 engines are quite good though, because within those engines there's different specs, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like you say, you order a Millington, there's not just one available, there's different capacities.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So we've also been asked for if we're going to do an electric version. So that's
I mentioned this to you when I came and did the Mark II. I said, you've got to do it.
Yeah, I think we'll probably end up.
You've got a prototype, a full EV Mark 1 and Mark II, because having one of these looking like this, but being EV, massive torque, city friendly, 0 emission, could be amazing. I know it wouldn't satisfy everybody, especially when they hear the sound of this starting up, but I think there's definitely a future market for it.
I think there is a market there, and obviously it's the way things are going, isn't it?
Yeah.
So even...
Count me in, Carwyn.
Yeah.
Count me in.
Maybe next time you're here we'll have the...
Yeah, I was going to say, that'll be visit number 3. Even when it's lashing with rain, or hail, actually, not rain, I still can't get my spirits dampened, because today's just one of those days. This car does really special things to me as a driver, but also to the people that you pass on the roads. That is Mount Snowdon in the background. Yes, the scenery is epic, but let's talk about the car. Whether you pick the Mark 1 or the Mark II that I drove earlier in the year, the fact that you can just build it to how you want to build it. You can be as mild or wild as you want, but this is a car that engages you. This is a car that actually, on the one hand, seems quite expensive to some people, but on the other, what do you compare it to? A Singer? In which case, it's an utter bargain. But it's one of those cars that just gets right into your skin. It's vocal, it can be aggressive. It's just a grin maker, and I absolutely love it. I hope you've really enjoyed this episode of the Late Break Show. I'm soaked to the skin and I'm freezing, but I just don't care. I love my job on days like this. I'm going to drive home now really, really gingerly. Because it is quite wide tyres and it's really quite cold and slippery.